Hello guys, it's the Dreamlord here, and today we are going to be talking about how to record some footage for YouTube. So if you're talking about recording for games, you may be looking at stuff like this recording program right here, Fraps, or you may be looking at programs like Bandicam, or I don't know what other, DxTory, or you can look at OBS, and these are all good programs. The three that I like to use, the two that I used to use was OBS and Fraps, but now I have gotten into using this, which is Shadowplay, and this is integrated into my graphics card, which is very nice, and it's an NVIDIA technology. I don't know if AMD has a version of this. Don't know off the top of my head. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does actually. But anyways, yeah, so these are the programs that I like to use. Let's look at, I'll put a link to Open Broadcast Software because this is a free program. And you may have heard of Debut, or whatever it was. And the recording software, that's free, but I don't really like it because NCH makes some good softwares, but if you don't plan to buy them, I wouldn't plan to, and there are better options out there for the same prices. So the one we're going to be looking at today, right now, is the Shadowplay one. So let's look up the Shadowplay one. I will be splitting this into parts. If you want to click it, look in the description. I'll put in different things for different parts. So what will you need to do? Parts of this. What you need to look, here's my system specs, if you want to look at that, is you'll need to look at, what are we looking at here? System requirements. Alright, we need to look at here. Where are we looking? Wow. Oh yeah, I am wrong here. Okay, so here's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at Shadowplay here, and this is the system requirements for Shadowplay. So you need the GeForce 332.82 driver or later, and I have which driver installed? I have the 347.09 driver installed. I think that's the latest driver, but I had some rollback issues with my Planet side and weird stuff there, but I got it all figured out, so we're not going to go into that right now. You need a GeForce desktop GPU 600 series or higher, notebook GTX 660M, and all these different stuff. So these are the ones you need. One thing I noticed, anything that doesn't happen with a GTX 5, like anything that ends with a 50, so a 550, I don't think we'll have it. It has to be a 6, so it has to be a 650 or higher, or a 660 maybe, and then a 550 will work too. Those are the lowest models that I think will work. And because I had a 610, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to use this, and it doesn't work. I know my 760 works just fine with it, and these are integrated things, so anything over there you should be fine. If you want to go check a complete list, I'll put a link in the description for the Shadowplay and NVIDIA's website for what graphics card to work. You'll need Windows 7 or later, so anyone running Windows XP, which you really shouldn't be right now. If you are running Windows XP, you should considering upgrading your operating system, which isn't that hard. Just make sure you have the right requirements. I'm probably not going to do a video about that because I don't plan to do that, and I don't plan to pretend like I know how to. Windows 7 or later, or Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 will also work. I don't know about Mac OSs. I doubt they will work with Shadowplay and stuff like this. We already talked about this, and 4 gigabytes or system RAM or higher, and I have 6. I'm planning to get more, like 12 or 16 maybe, or maybe just as low as 8. And the Intel Core i3 2100. Okay, that's what it is at 3.1 gigahertz, or AMD Athlon X4 630 at 2.8 gigahertz CPU or higher. So those are the ones. One thing I need to warn here, my friend has he has an 840M in his notebook graphics card, and that works with this. It says he has this. He has 4 gigabytes of system RAM. He has this. He has Windows 8.1. He has this. He has this driver. he has like the newest driver, which is probably the same one I have. He's got 347.5, I think, because he's got a different GPU. So of course he gets different drivers. So here we go. But his Intel Core i5 something U at the end of the it ends at the U does not work with this, because there are certain stuff here that doesn't work. If you want to see, there's probably a list of there somewhere. I'm going to try to find one. If there is, I'll put it in the description. If not, I'll say you're out of luck there. You just go to a website like cpuboss.com. We'll put a link in the description for that, definitely. It's a very good website. And look if your CPU is better than this or better than this. Compare them to both. It will see, and it will only take you around 5 minutes to do this. So that'll be very good. So that's what you need. It gives you very good performance, especially with games, and it gives very good performance for me, especially, even though I'm not very CPU limited with my quad core. So now we move on to the settings of this. So you can set up shadow or manual, and you can also broadcast to Twitch with this recording software. Shadow saves at least last 10 minutes of recording. You can actually change that up to 20, I think. Yeah, come on, let me go to 20. There are 20, or as low as 5. 1. Oh, 1 minute, really? I never knew that. I keep mine at around 10 as a nice medium. If you have a smaller hard drive, you might consider going for something in the middle there. There's 9, whatever. I'll leave it at that. Quality, low, medium, high, or custom. I recommend not going with custom, because unless you really want to be picky about this, because unless you know your resolution and what you're going to be mainly playing at, and what your frame rate's going to be, and what your bit rate is, and all this stuff, I recommend seeing one of these 3. So I keep mine on high just because of that. Audio, you can use your microphone if you want to actually record like that, or if you want to do that. But this is pretty straightforward and off. So what you want to also look at is these. So let's look at these a little more in depth. I just covered them, but shadow and manual. So this means shadow. So this will automatically shadow record the last 9 minutes of your gameplay. And all you have to do is hit the hotkey. It's Alt F10 will save the last 9 minutes of recording, or whatever you have it set to. You see it just changed there. Shadow manual. Alt F9 toggles manual control recording off on and off. So Alt F9 will record, and then that's what I would recommend for recording videos of stuff. This will not work with Minecraft if you do plan to do it, because Minecraft is a Java-based application, and Shadowplay will not recognize it as a game. To get over that, you can turn on, here in the settings here, let's open them up. You can turn on desktop capture, allow desktop capture mode. And this will allow you to capture anything on your desktop completely, which I will use when I'm reviewing OBS, to show you that you can record anything. And this is a new feature, so it's still semi in beta, but it should be fully optimized in the next driver patch, and that's what I've heard from NVIDIA. So I don't actually talk to them, online articles. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward there. This is what it is. To go to the folder it is going output in, you just hit this button. It records in your videos, and then it has a folder called Shadowplay, and it will individually folder the games that you're doing it. So let's look at the settings now. So yeah, the status indicator, which is this little circle in the corner here, and I'll put some footage over there of a game I don't even know what I'm going to be playing. Put there, it's going to be there, and then status indicator. So there's that. You can put your camera in there, and you can select in one of these corners. So that's your webcam camera, or you can hit off to turn that off. You can select the size and stuff like that. And your FPS counter. If you're running Fraps like I am on the side, you really don't need this, but I keep it off. But if you want to keep it on, that's okay. It will show up in the videos though, if it does. So I recommend going to the settings. It does take a little bit to launch this, but you'll get used to that as it goes on. Here's the hotkeys. These are all customizable. I mean, not hotkeys. I have customizable G keys on my Logitech G510. I'll be doing a review on that sometime. And I use those to macro record these, so I only have to hit one button. But I do keep them on the default just in case that my macro keys mess up, and so I can always recapture. So I'm going to turn this on just for the moment of doing this. It's going to flash in and out here. And yeah, just give me a second. Wonderful. It just took complete control of my desktop, so I can't capture my desktop. Wonderful. Now I can't do that. Well, I'll see you once I'm recording. Alright, so now that we're recording with Shadowplay, we're going to review OBS. So here's OBS. This is what I've been used to recording all of my previous footage right now. This is, you can add your sources, your scenes, and this stuff. So this is more in-depth than a lot of in the Shadowplay, but Shadowplay is very easy to use, and it's very, very effective if you don't have a better CPU. So let's look at the main screen here. So you can preview your stream, which doesn't mean you're actually streaming on Twitch. Start recording. Global sources, which means sources that are not on your computer. Plugins, which are just things that are installed, and I just leave the pre-installed ones. If you want to mess around that, you can look up on some other stuff. I may do a video on that in the future. Settings, this is how loud, and you can control this on the fly, especially if you have a second monitor. I do recommend using this stuff. These are your scenes. So what your scenes will do is, if you add a scene, you can just switch that scene, and this is how you add scene. Just right click, and that's scene 2. So this is the sources that will show up. So this is a very quick, if you want to be, this is my AFK scene, and this is my, that's a cool way of loading in. This is my I'm playing a game now scene, and this is going to be my BRB scene. So this is like, these are my scenes. Especially this would be useful when live streaming. So you can also set a hotkey to these, and so you can switch those. These are your sources for each scene. So if I'm looking at, let's preview this. So if I want to look at my Acer monitor, so there's my Acer monitor right now. So that's what it's showing, and it's doing high CPU usage right now. Let's turn that off, and let's look at if I was recording, not Skype, but if I was recording, you can also turn these. I just messed it up. Here's my little Dell monitor, and there it is. And you may notice, okay, it's there, and I can see what's happening on the screen right now, but there's nothing happening. And like, so what's up with that? Why is it over here, and why is it all messed up like that? Well, it's because of it, you gotta edit the scene. So to edit the scene, all you need to do is hit this scene and edit scene. So this is not working, so I'm just gonna go straight up record it. You can go edit scene here, so, and edit scene is not working because it probably has something to do with, I don't even know anymore. Well, you edit the scene and you drag it. So I'll show that, and probably in some footage right now overlaying this. Alright, so after that footage now, this is your settings. So the hit settings, you just hit the settings button down here, and you go to this. This is your general. So setting profile, you can add profiles, enable cursor over projector. I always leave that on. I don't mess with any of the stuff up. Show log on Windows and OBS launch. You don't really need that because that's just basically developer stuff, and don't mess with that. Language English, or whatever your language is. If it's English and you're probably watching this, you're probably understanding it the best. You can, it will just ask you to apply settings every time you touch something or change it. What did I change? Oh, I changed that. I think I changed something. Or you can just hit apply down there. So these are your video encoding settings here. Encoders. So this is video encoding, and this is encoder, this is one, and this is one. So I have an NVIDIA graphics card, and video graphics cards can use this, and so I use this because this gives me much better performance than when I use this. This performance will depend on your bit rate. So your bit rate is how many kilobits per second. So they recommend this is on and stuff. Custom buffer size will automatically change to whatever I put in here. So if I put 333, 322, that's a huge. For 1080p, they recommend around up to this, or 8,000, I think is the recommendation. For 720p, I think they like it around 4,000, and for lower than that, just keep it whatever. I'll have to look that up again. Can't remember. I'll put a display screen on the screen right here to tell you it. I keep it at 6,000 because that's what I like to use. So ACC is easier recording audio codec. This is now audio, this is video. At this, because this is a bigger thing, bitrate 128 bits per second, because I have a good mic and I like to keep it that way. Channel stereo. Mono would mean it would come through one, and stereo means it comes from multiples. So I need to turn up to 128, and let's hit apply, and let's go to the next thing. So broadcast settings. These are the broadcast settings. So you can do this, since I'm not optimized for Twitch. Normally I'm just going to YouTube, and YouTube will I'll put in my stream key when I need it. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, and this will tell you that you're not going to do that. This is their maximum bit rate on Twitch, but I like to have a bigger maximum. So when I'm actually file outputting, this is what it is, and you can put it wherever you want. You can also put these special things on top, and this will put it in the name. So this appears in the name. Edit the name of your video by going like this. Mine is just named as OBS, so that I know that's an OBS output. And now let's go to the next thing here. So our video. This is my video adapter. So you just have to select one if you have multiple cards, which most people don't. But for the few who do and may be watching this video right now, this is how you select your video cards, if that wasn't already apparent. I use I normally use monitor 1. I don't know why that switched, because this is my first monitor, second monitor, because this is different stuff here. Resolution downscale. Now this will help your bitrate if you have a slower CPU. If I recommend only going down to 1.5, which is 720p, because that will give you the best stuff, like best looking picture for how much downscale you're getting. It actually would be better to turn your monitor down, but we're not going to get into that because you want to play at a 1080p monitor. FPS 60. I keep it at 60 because I like smooth stuff and I can support that. But the minimum I would recommend going to is 25, and you can either type it in or you can go like this and change it. So I keep it at 60, or you can keep it at 30 or whatever you like to. So I cast 25, 30, or 60, or whatever your monitor refresh rate is. So that could be 90 or it could be 120. Let's go to the next thing, which is audio. So here is my speakers. My default would be my system default, and my speakers would be this, and my keyboard has a sound card in it, so that's what's recognizing that. Here's my wonderful blue snowball here that I'm using to record all my audio, and don't do this show only connected devices, which would mean devices that are connected. So these ones aren't connected, they're just showing up because of there. If I hit show only connected devices, this is what you get. So I keep this one. Gotta do that. You don't need to even push that. I don't know why I did. These are push to talk if you're gonna use that. Stuff like this. Offset, if your video gets a little bit offset, you can change that. Let's go to the hotkeys. So these are hotkeys. I don't even have any of these done, so I don't want. So this is how you enable push to talk. I don't know why they didn't put that on this page, but I guess it makes a little bit of sense to put it on the hotkeys page. Here is your stuff for this, and this is what you need. For hotkeys, I normally don't use that. I normally just pop over to my second monitor here, like so, and do that, and pop over and use my second monitor as what I use to just edit this, because you can get all these different things right here. So these settings, these 8 little boxes right here, when they're operating and fully operated, can do all the stuff you can do right here, and you don't even need to memorize the hotkeys because you can just look at them. So I don't even mess with this. I just hit clear for all these, so that it's all none, so I can just spam clear. And even if I hit G and I don't want that, because that's normally grenade in games, I just hit clear and hit apply. So let's go to advanced. So here's some stuff that's kind of confusing. So here's what you need to be. This is I have normal or above normal. I don't recommend putting in the high because it will take priority over your games. I don't recommend putting in idle because then it will never get priority over anything, really. So this is what I use, multi-thread, because I have multi-thread processor. Video. So use automatic and use main, because those are the ones that work for Twitch, and this will basically work for everything else you need. Network. I didn't even mess with this. Audio, didn't even mess with this either. But you do have to mess with this when going to Twitch, because Twitch is very picky about what they allow. The way this works is key int. So that's keyframe interval. So key interval of seconds and 0 equals auto. So every 50 seconds it takes it. So if this is set to 2, this is set to 50. I don't know why that is wrong. If I go to Twitch, it will tell me how I'm wrong, but I can't. Let me see here. If I go to live stream and we click it, we can go to Twitch. Yeah, I'm okay. So with the 60 FPS output here, where is it? Output, I should be at a keyframe interval of this. And so if this is 2, that means every 2 seconds, so this is what it wants it to be. But then this you need to set to. As so if you display 60 frames in a second and you want to do that, so this should be higher, this should be double what it is. So this is when I'm recording at 25. What it should be is, what is it, 60 times 2, which is 120. So my keyframe interval should be 120, so I do that. Use CFR should be on. I don't know what a lot of this stuff does, but this is the stuff it wants you to do, and it works, so you can do it. This doesn't even matter, and these are the plugins that I was talking about. So you can get a lot more stuff here, I guess, but don't even need that. Don't mess with it. Just use this. So these are the settings I use. I turn this up and down as I need it. You can fully mute it by pressing this. That's what I use. You can set up as many scenes as you need, plugins and stuff like that. So we're going to go back to OBS so we can use this again, and we're going to review Fraps now. Well, so now OBS just crashed, so I'm going to use this now, I guess. Wonderful. Alright, so now we're reviewing Fraps here. So here's your FPS and stuff here. Num hotkey, which basically means every time you press num 5, or like the 5 on the way right corner of your screen, it's going to move the overlay corner until you can move it here, 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 and then here, and the height overlay so it doesn't appear in your games. Only update, I just have it, just stuff, so this is the stuff I use. Benchmarking, and that's something I don't even use anymore, but I keep it there just in case I ever need to do it. Movies. So here's the big thing. Don't use screenshots. There are better ways to do screenshots over here, and there are a lot of things built into games that will automatically do it for you, so you really don't need this. Video capture settings. So here's where it gets interesting. I normally use 60, but I should probably keep it to that 30 because I don't normally want to record any more than that, because when recording with Fraps, I'd rather, if I'm recording 60 FPS, I'd rather use something like Shadowplay where my FPS can fluctuate and move around more freely and do this, so I keep this at 30 in case I ever need to just quickly record something or something like that. This is the external input. This you cannot customize in Fraps, so what you will need to do is you need to go down here to your speakers and hit recording devices, and you can see my recording devices here, and you'll need to double click or right click and hit properties, but I double click and hit levels, and this will, not levels, what am I doing? So this will change how much volume you have in all your recording programs. Probably good that I did that. And you'll need to hit, see how it has a check mark here? If I wanted to set this as my default, this is what will show up in here. I would just need to close out of Fraps and reopen it, but that's how you do that if you ever need it. I disabled this, so that's my webcam, so it never has to interfere, but this is the way I do it. Record Windows 7 sounds, it says Windows 7, but Windows 7 and Windows 8 will both work. Windows 8.1 will work, and Windows XP will work, all to that to my knowledge. The only thing you can do, push to talk, this is the same thing. Hide mouse cursor, I don't even do that. Lock frame rate while recording. So you can actually turn this so it fluctuates, but I like to keep it locked, so I get this. Force lossless RBG capture, I keep it off, so because it may be slower, and that's a good thing. You can change where it does, but I just like to have it go to my desktop so I know where it's going. And screenshots, you don't even use them. So I like to keep it up in the corner where it launches normally, so it's always out of the way and I always know where it is. And that basically concludes everything I use to record. If you want to see me review a different program or tell you how to use it better, I'll go look it up, download it, learn it. Just give me what the program's name is and or a link. Links would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you like this video, go ahead, look in the comments and like it. If you want to know something or you don't know something or you wanted to say something or anything like that, put it in the comments. I read all of my comments that I get, and yeah, I think that's it. like this video, enjoy. I also look forward to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.